Hey, how's everyone doing? Happy Mother's Day to everyone. Happy Mother's Day. You know, we appreciate all the mothers out there on the 11th day of May, 2025. Happy Mother's Day. I hope everyone had a fantastic day, great dinners, companionship, relationship, family times, appreciating the moms of this world. Sometimes the moms are grandmothers, sometimes the moms are aunties and uncles, sometimes the moms are just different people, friends, family. And but it's the mothers who make this world go around, and sometimes, can't call a dude a mom, but sometimes, guys are doing dual roles, to being a mother and a father. Sometimes the women, uh, great moms, but they're doing the dual roles, being mom and dad. And those things are hard to do when you have to, couple everything together. But I want to wish everyone a fantastic Mother's Day. And I did it on my Facebook channel. I wish everyone, I did it today at church. I wish everyone a happy Mother's Day. And it gets me thinking time to time, because some of us have lost our mothers. My wife, she lost her mother last year, and about 21 years ago, I lost my mother, and I'm like, wow. And today, still, I miss my mom, So, it's happy Mother's Day to all, and so I appreciate it. My wife still has a stepmom, so that's our other mother, with family, Miss Grace. So we appreciate Miss Grace as well, and even a shout out to her sister Mary. So I hope everyone had a fantastic day, and I hope it brought the joy that you were looking for. And then if you wasn't, I hope it surprised you. And so happy Mother's Day to everybody. All right, and so I want to take that little segment out and just let everyone know we appreciate you, and just for my fans supporting me, helping me along doing this thing. And I had to rush off the phone with my son. Like he almost made me late to get here. And so Big Mike, I'm giving you a shout out as well. And Nia, his wife, praise God, and the daughter Ari. So shout out to you guys, all right, and have a fantastic day for the rest of the Mother's Day. Um, I don't know. What will we do with our moms? I mean, I'll tell you, my mother was very instrumental in my life anyway, and so and for real, most of what I appreciate is she kept me in prayer. And so I could have made some, I made wrong turns, but I could have made more wrong turns. And yet, I'm here to, push forward. Before we get started, and in talking relationships and stuff, I promised some great folks out there that I was going to give them some shout outs. And so Elizabeth, well, not Elizabeth, it's Liz, Lizbeth, Lisbeth, all right, not Elizabeth, and she's like, which one is it, Elizabeth or Lisbeth? No, she said Lisbeth, and they were helping me out at the public store today, and so I'm giving Lisbeth a shout out, and she was so pleasant, so nice, kind, and gentle, and when I meet good people, and I do all the time, I like to give them a shout out. And Gabe was helping her out, and Gabe was, packing the stuff up for us. And, I appreciate that young man. And thing is, he was a hardworking young man. And I love to see young people working. And people can sit back and they can play video games and stuff. But I guarantee you, if you all you do is play video games, you're not making any money. Gabe was out there making money. All right, appreciate him and so much. And as we were leaving the store today, because normally on Sundays we try to get our shoppings done. So I'm talking to people, talking about my book, my podcast, so forth, so on. And so I give these people shout outs. But we were leaving the store today, and we have on our Sunday clothes. We still have our clothes on, and I tend to, I preached today. I was at church today when I'm dressed like this. So on Sunday, so that's kind of like, well, I bring the same energy, to this. I ain't want to keep changing. I'm like, you know what? I'm about to go do my show, so I can, be debonair for a little bit, all right? And but as we leave the store, we ran to Lainey and her family, and Lainey she's a joy. Lainey is outstanding. I'm normally cheering people on, but she was cheering my wife and I on, and I was so elated, to for people just to appreciate you for who you are. And but Lainey gave us a shout out and told us how wonderful we look today. So I have to keep my clothes on anyway. Shout out to Lainey, her and the family, and I love it when people read books and stuff like that. So and we go from there. I met another gentleman, and we start talking about history in the store, and I forgot to get his name. But anyway, he has my bookmark, should be reading my book. And so he gave me some reflections that made me go back in time. And you remember how they used to go to the different games, basketball, football, whatever, and baseball games, and they wore suits. They dressed like this and went to the game with the hat on. And he made me remember that, how they used to go, play the different sports, but they dressed up to go. They didn't wear, the stuff they wear today. And so it used to be a big time event, because most of the time they went to the games, it was right after church, so they wore their Sunday clothes. So just we kind of related and reflect on that. And he too was an author as well. And also I want to, I was talking to another gentleman while I was in the store. He didn't work there, but he's from Jamaica, all right, and so closer to oh my God, Jamaica. I can't now. It's slipping my mind. Come on. And another good friend of mine, he's in Jamaica, from Jamaica as well. And so, like, the capital. Mel, what's the capital of Jamaica? The capital of Jamaica. Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue. The McLeans are from there. Our friends. All right, we'll get back to that. All right, and but the dude is built, as a linebacker. It could be a running back. But I say, dude, you should play football. He said, I want to play, but I got to America too late. Huh? Can't hear you. Kingston, right? Why couldn't I think of Kingston? But the John is he lives close to Kingston, and the dude built like a tank. It's for real, and it's a shame that he cannot play football for high school. This will be a last year, but he just moved here to the States, and Deshaun, awesome dude, awesome personality, very humble. He you could tell when kids aren't from, and I hate to say this, and not all kids, but a lot of kids aren't, that's from America, are not so respectable. More so in the South versus not the South. That you get the yes ma'ams and stuff like that, and so okay, and so we talked, and it was just a joy talking to him. I told him I was going to give him a shout out. And last but not least is Veronica. And so I'm telling you, I do this all the time. I think it's a joy to meet great people and tell them. But Lainey gets the A+ today, because she kept complimenting my wife and I, so she gets A+. But Veronica is the last young lady we met, and I was able to talk to her for a while. And she's a computer science major in college, and she's in her 20s, early 20s, but she's looks like she's 15. And just as humble and cute and just everything, So I'm like, so I pass on a little advice to people, and she gets a bonus today too because she's interested in reading my book. Hallelujah. So I'm s- really ecstatic about that. When people take an interest in reading your story and not knowing, but a lot of times it changes the lives of people. And my book has really been mind-boggling, mind-blowing. I say it like that, but yeah, it captures hold of you, and you have to finish it. My son, Mike Jones, he probably when it first came out, one of the first persons that ever read my book all the way through. And he was like, "Wow, Dad," and he had some questions about it too, right? But it's mind-boggling, mind blowing, and yeah. Thanks, Linda, for helping. You beat Mel to it. The capital of Jamaica is Kingston. Yeah, it's from Kingston, and we know it's much respect to Jamaicans out there, and um, I love the Jamaicans. I love the people from the islands. We've been to Jamaica so many times, and I can't wait to get back there. Cause I'll tell you, I had a massage in Jamaica, and it's from the I get a massage all the time, but this massage was the massage of all massages I ever had. Not take anything away from my wife, but this lady who did my massage, oh my God, it blew my mind. I can't wait till we get back. I have to say we go back so we can get another massage in Jamaica, cause they got it down. I'm serious, they got it down. And my wife's in second place. This lady's in first place. I can't say she's first because she's not my wife. I mean, nobody. Me and my wife had a lot of massages in different places and different. We had a massage on a cruise ship, all right, and that was probably the worst. They gonna have to give me some monies for me to turn that around and let me redeem myself. But that was one of the worst massages we ever had on a cruise ship, and we're not going there. But I'm just letting you know. But I gave my shout outs to Gabe, Elizabeth, Laney, Dejan, and Veronica, and just a host of others. And my son, I don't have to write him down. I'll get him. I have another son up in Virginia, and shout out to him. We call him Ant, but he goes by Mike, and I go by Mike. So go figure that one, right? And we're Mikes. And so that's that. So I'm giving the shout outs. Hello to Linda and from Mike and Mel. Shout hello to Linda. She can hear you. Yeah, you probably hear in the background. But we just had some shrimp baskets and corn and the shrimp was awesome, and that was kind of like our Mother's Day dinner, and it was delicious, and we checked out a little place here in a pocket called Hicks, and so it was good. It's always good every time we go. And I was tempted to get some crab legs, seriously. And we got some in the freeze. We just got some, wild caught crab legs, and so we hope to get some of them pretty soon. All right. And so I might have to pull up the grill and get a couple lobsters and we got this grill out there. It's not gas. And so it's with the pellets and stuff like that. So it has that hickory flavor that you can add to it. But anyway, so much for all that. But if you want to go live, I put the link out there and you could go live and ask your questions and stuff like that. And we can go from there. All right. And but this is a show we're on to talk about relationships, baggage, and I kind of got really intense last time because I love this subject. I love talking about it, and just being next to truth. And sometimes you got to tell the truth, and sometimes when you tell the truth hurts. It gets hard to bear, at times, and and you go from there. But you learn to deal with it. I want nothing but the truth for real in my life, in relationships, and I hope my show is helping people to say, you know what? What if I do things different? What if I wait? What if I wait till marriage? What if? Because I'll tell you, when you look at relationship, there's always a better way to do it. And what if should be your first question. Because that way it pulls you out of your mind that you made up. Because sometimes once you make up your mind, that's it. People like they don't think. When relationships get involved, when another person's involved in your life, we do not make the right choices. We don't make the right decisions. We allow our emotions to take the best of us, and mostly women. Women are not all women, but a lot of women are derived by their emotions, and not all men, but a lot of men are derived by what they see. And every now and then you get somebody that's a little off that cue, and they not looking at it from how I'm saying. Some guys can get really emotional. Some guys get really attached. Some guys really get to a place when you want to break up with them, they want to kill you and them. I mean, that's stupid, but yes, people get to that point. And the goal is, and is not to get to that point. The goal is not to bring that baggage. The goal is not to set up your life for failure. All right. A lot of times we set up our lives for failure and we go by what we want. Everything. You can't have that little child mentality to say, I want this in the story. I want that in the story. No matter what the repercussions are, I want A, B, C, D, F, G. We got to get out of that mindset, because long as we stay there, we're not going to move forward. We're not going to get ahead. We won't keep making mistakes and not be happy with the choices we make in life, and so we have to get out of that mindset. What's good for the goose is good for the gander is not always true, and I may not want what they have. Some people, they want your spouse, they want your girlfriend, they want your boyfriend. And in some cases, right? Yeah, take them, get them away from me. Some people are unhappy, and the sooner the better. And some people can be despiteful. And if you had a bad time in your relationship, you're not going to tell nobody I had a bad time. You say, go ahead, you can take them. But people generally, seriously, they don't listen anyway. If you tell them don't mess with this person, don't mess with that person, generally people don't listen to you. If you tell somebody don't marry this guy, don't marry that girl, they don't listen to you. And then it's too late, and they're like, oh my God, what did I do? I opened up Pandora's box. This relationship is nothing like I imagined. Never thought it would be what's happening in my life. And you get what you deserve, And the thing is, I wish, sometimes I just have these thoughts, and my mind goes into this place, And so what if, like I had a baby out of wedlock? And so I could talk about this. I have personal experience. I lived it and whatever. But I messed up that young girl's life for real. My son's mother, like not having a child. I'm not saying that. I'm saying because I didn't do it the right way. Like that's my job. That's the man's job, to make that woman honorable. It is not the woman's job to make that man be honorable to her. It's her job to sustain from anything that's beyond a touch, shake hands kind of thing, or a little hug. It's her job to keep the limits off, say nobody's touching my body until I get married. And y'all hear me say these things a lot of times. I'm like, close your leg, close your leg, close your leg. And I'm not going to stop saying it, because I think it's important that somebody believe what I'm saying. If I wasn't that guy that used to, be easy among the women, right? Women love me, and it was easy for me to have a relationship. If I wasn't a guy, I can, not say that. I have hands-on experience with a multitude of people, and I'm like, close your legs. I think it's pretty ignorant. It's irresponsible, right? And I'm speaking to myself when I was in that time. I'm older now. I don't do anything. And what people do today is they say, didn't you do it? Didn't you do it? Didn't you do it? That doesn't give you a pass for you to go do it, because somebody's done it before. Because I got away with it, you might not get away with it. And I had a child, you might have twins. You never know. That baby might die. You never know. But I'm trying to prevent it, because I can admit wholeheartedly, and I wrote books, you could see it. And I'm writing my next book, and I'm like, I put truth in there because I want people to see, I was irresponsible, but don't you, I'm the guy you're supposed to learn from. I'm that guy that you need to learn from, so you don't dare make the same mistakes I made. And women, I don't know what girls think. Why do you think if you have a relationship or intimate relationship with a person of the opposite sex, right? I know everybody does it and people do it same sex. I'm only interested in heterosexual type relationships, all right? And but why is it that you know nobody wants to take the blame? Women, life, as long we don't know when the world's gonna end, as long as you have life in your body, take your time on getting intimate with anybody. Because you kiss somebody and whatever, and people kiss, and then it gets taken away. You take it too far, and next you know, your clothes off, and you're doing things you shouldn't be doing, and your pants are down, and you're like, oh my God, how'd I get here? Well, you know how you got there. We have to take responsibility. You know, the laws are changing. And I want to give people a news flash. I don't know if you watch the news. I don't know if you watch, the stuff happening on CNN and stuff happening in our government, local government. I don't know if you understand what's happening in welfare systems, unemployment systems, and the thing is to just have a kid and say, I'm getting on welfare. People are tired of paying tax dollars to support you to stay home and take care of kids that you didn't do it right with. You didn't have them the right way. You didn't get married, whatever. Folks don't want to take care of you no more. And so in spite of what I say, those social programs are going off. They're going to push it where you get to be on for 2 years. Then you have to figure it out after that. And I think because the roof has changed to that, we're going to have a lot more of homeless people, for real. Because families only can take so much. A family can barely support themselves. And so that's going to widen the playing field where there's a lot more homeless people out there. And so I think it's important. What's wrong with marriage? People have criticized marriage so much that they don't understand that's the best way to go about living life. Doing it our way doesn't work. It's too many babies are being born, and I'm not giving you numbers. I could give you statistics and stuff out of wedlock. And half the time, a lot of the women, I want to say at least 50%, this off the top of my head, women that's had children do not get married. They're stuck with that child. And then thereafter, what's mind-blowing is even if they get into another relationship, it don't last. It go from in that next relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship. Because once you open up Pandora's box and we think it's always going to get better at the end, the better in the next relationship, better over here, better over there, that's a facade. It's not real. It's only your imagination telling you it's going to get better. No, doesn't get better. I warn so many women. I'm telling you, black, white, Spanish, doesn't matter. You can be from Russia, Poland, Germany. It's close your legs. People don't understand why I say that. And you don't know why I say it so much, because your life will mess up. I was explaining to the young lady today, I'm calling her name, but how when we keep trying relationships, and I seen somebody, I have a family member, I'm gonna go call her name, whatever, but she having the most horrific time with her kids. But her kids don't have a living dad, and they not married. But that kid's supposed to be a hard-headed kid. Because when you have the children, that's family. But when you have the children out of like a two-parent household, and you're like, I have the baby. And the thing is, I'm going to go left, right? And this is not going to be the last time I do it. I don't do it again. I think women are to blame for having kids. And I'm excluding the ones through incest and rape. All right? We're not talking about them. I'm saying other normal circumstances, except incest and rape, right? Because you have no control of that. You may have to abort and this, that, and other, whatever, right? But the thing is, or you got to do preventive measures not get disease. So we're not talking about that. Women, stop having babies. Because you can't control them. You can't do it. Is the most single factor that single women having kids, they can't contain it. And then not only one kid, but they go have two kids, and then they have three kids, and think, and y'all gonna get mad at me for this, all right? So I'll laugh first, all right? you know, you can't have a kid and think that guy's gonna marry you. You know, having kids to Mike Gilcreast, this is Mike Gilcreast show, right? I think it's a trap for, I'm not gonna say all women, because maybe it could be an accident. I hate to say that, but maybe it's unplanned. You went too far. I'm stretching, I'm reaching. Because sometimes, for years, women have set people up. I had a family member that was set up, and the woman told him, this is your kid. This is your child. And if you have a DNA test, I'm leaving you. Come on. That's the biggest sign in the world. Say, get that DNA test. If any woman tell a man that if you have a DNA test, I'm leaving, that's a red flag. That's not your child. All right? You can't trust nobody anymore that way. That should never be a trust factor that you don't get a DNA test. I'll tell you, if anybody come to me and say that's their child, right? I can't call them a lie because it could be true. All right? But I've been married going on 31 years. Nobody, I guarantee you, nobody, I guarantee it, can come to me and say, you know what? You have a child and is less than 31 years old. Nobody. Because that did not happen with me and my wife. I only been committed to my wife. So nobody can come and say, I have a child less than 31 years old. For real. All right? And so I've been married, July be 31 years and a couple months. All right? And nobody. But before 31, I could be guilty. But I will not accept any child unless I have a blood test. I would not. If someone comes and say, this is your child, we have to get a blood test. For real. No guy, no guy should be able to just take the word of a female. Because women, and not all women, some women's game is to trap you so you can pay money, so you can sign the birth certificate. And once you sign that birth certificate, men do not sign the birth certificate until you get a blood test. Do not, I'm giving you head up pointers so you're not stuck paying child support for a child that's not yours. It's too hard to fight in the legal system. You have to have a lot of money. Money like Anthony Edwards, the basketball player. All right, you got to have some big money. You do not sign birth certificates until after you verify that's your child. But stop having sex. Women stop, not controlling the environment to let a guy handle environment that you don't expose yourself bare to a man. That you could end up having a child, and sometimes the guy don't even want it. Look what Anthony Edwards. I mean, I used to think he's a bad guy. He wanted to pay some child support and didn't want nothing to do with the child, this and another. But there's another side to him. And so I would love to sit down and talk to him. I want to understand him, for real. Because I think he's unique, and what he's doing, I probably would have did it. But the thing is, I don't think women should trap men. And that could be another subject. Should women trap men and for babies? But I'm telling you, it's been going on for ages. Don't trap a dude trying to get him to marry you, because the marriage is not going to work. He'd just be off the market. If a guy not happy with you and you won't have a baby by him anyway, come on. You shouldn't be having sex with him. For real. See, y'all got me started. I get passionate about these type of subjects. Women like, I had your baby, so now you got married. One thing about me and older guys, a lot of older guys don't care. You try to play the game and say I wasn't married, and then I'm sleeping around different women, this, that, and another. I wouldn't care if they say got them pregnant, didn't get them pregnant, whatever. Women gotta be smart in what they are. than to give themselves and be loose and then say, it's your fault, it's your fault. You can never guilt, like a real man, you can't guilt a real man to be your husband because you had a child. The connection is not made because you have children. You're in that moment of an emotional state where you're drawn because that's your child. But how many people have found out, 10, 20, 15, 30 years later that it wasn't their child? That happened to a family member of mine. They found out that's not my kid. That's to me, that's almost like fighting words, for real. To falsely accuse me of to have a child that's not mine. And I'm going through life, I'm emotionally connected to that child. That's terrible. The judge should put every woman in jail that accused a guy of having a child by him and it wasn't his. They put men in jail, put women in jail for lying, for setting up that dude and saying that is not his child. Put her in jail. The reason I say this because we need to stop the stuff that's going on. We're killing relationship. We're killing even potential marriages. We're killing it. People don't want to deal with that. Now you done messed up. For every relationship going forward, you don't want nothing to do with it. You don't want nothing to do with it. You don't want nothing to do with it. And it's like I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married just because I had a horrible time. Well, if we do it right, according to how the Bible tells us to do it, we wouldn't have these situations. I am so old-fashioned, even though I was modern day, and dealing with the modern women. And the thing is, the modern women gonna get you in trouble, for real. It's gonna get you up. Most people can't handle it. A lot of people doing these things. They try to get the look. They want to show their body. They want their navel pierced and this and another. They want to be sexy, this, that, and another. For what? You can't attract the one you want dressing like that. And then people, I want a high value man. I want a woman that's high value, that takes care of herself, that respects her body, that respects her virginity, respects, her looks, what she look, how she carry herself. I want that. I don't want no hoochie. I don't know why women think men want you wearing booty shorts. No, booty shorts are worse than Daisy Dukes. Daisy Dukes are cut up to the lower part of your butt, your what do you call it, your buns, right? But the booty shorts, they fit almost like underwear. And then you walk down with a tank top, and then you're walking and prancing yourself, and you think, why are you looking at me? What you got on that? Guys are going to look. That's what we do. It doesn't make you a sin. It doesn't make you lust. Don't even mean you want it. Sometimes I see that, and it disgusts me. I'm like, is that the most you respect of your body? If I was single, I wouldn't even, look at myself to marry them person. I would. Why women think guys want to marry? Guys want recreational use only. Do y'all understand that way? They will sleep with you and that's it. That's all you get. You might get the second phone call. I don't know. I don't know. On this day, I don't know what they call today a one night stand. Seems like one night stand should be a thing of the past. And the thing is, you don't even need one night to get to know somebody. People would do it they will have sex with you within the first hour, within the first 30 minutes. That's how easy it is for people to get together with folks, within 30 minutes. When a guy meets a woman, he knows within the first 3 minutes if he can have sex with her. The first 3 minutes. And you could be in their panties. You could be in the bed with them within 30 minutes. Now, what are we raising? You got kids raising kids. What is the value of relationship? Guys don't want somebody that nobody respects. And women are saying, well, they're crying, oh, messed up. Close your legs. You are the queen. You are I don't even want to say queen. I hate that word, because it's overrated. I can't call a prostitute a hoochie mama a queen. I think queen, you're entitled to something to grow into. To just call somebody queen because they're a woman, they not no queen. You got some pretty lame women out here. They're sorry. They're just like sorry men. Irresponsible. They're nasty. Sleep with one guy after another guy after another guy after another guy, and now they got four types of blood and through semen inside their body. That's nasty, disgusting. It's really disgusting. And you treat it like it's nothing. Guys don't want that. And some guys be glad they can get anything. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about people that live life. Like I've lived life, and only today, in the time I'm living now, the time I have a relationship now, I want the best. Nothing but the best. I want the loving, respectable woman. You know, women chasing men. I don't get it. Let bygones be bygones. The stuff women do, I don't get it. Why do women submit their power when they got the power? And power is not to control a man. Power is to say, this man's going to respect me because of what I bring to the table. This man's going to love me because of what I bring to the table. And it's not financial gain. You know, I don't know why women think it's all about financial gain. I could go get, I could ride around in a Maserati and pick up any woman I want. Black, white, Spanish, rich, poor, married, divorced, single, doesn't matter. Even widowed, even teens, just because I'm driving a Maserati. Isn't that stupid? People will assume I got money. I can go out there in the streets and meet a young lady and she could be attractive. I say, what you doing? How about going to Hawaii with me for a week? Do you not know women would jump on that? Like, how much are you really worth? What is your true value? I would respect a woman saying, I ain't going nowhere with you. I respect myself too much. But you know what? If you had 100 people, I think maybe, this is Mike Gilcreast, this is me talking. I think maybe out of 100 people, 15 might say no. 85 will say yes. When can we leave? There's an intrinsic value that's missing from our lives, from our mindsets. There's something missing when it's that easy to gain a relationship with another person of your opposite sex. Something's missing. I'm telling you, it doesn't take a whole lot. It don't take, I can get a woman in her 20s that's 40 years younger than me, right? And because I have the means. So now, the question for you, are relationships devalued? What's the intrinsic value that's supposed to hold up our society, our moral values, our moral culture? I'm saying, humanistically, who are we? What is your, for the guy I am today, I can't deal with the people that I've dealt with in the past. I'm not that same guy. At some point in our lives, we have to actualize. Even I could say, you know what? I don't want that. I'm telling you what I could present. And I'm not even interested in getting, but I could just present it and watch lives change because they see opportunity. My next question would be, how much is your soul worth if you could just let go just like that? No, it's going to get to a point where people will have, I think in America, it's happening in other countries, but people will have sex with you just to eat. It's going to get to that point. And we have to be spiritual, and not everybody's going to be spiritual. Some people's going to, take advantage of that situation. But what's the gain? To desecrate a human being because they have a need? But that's half of it. That's not the whole thing. Women will just give themselves up just like that. I'm a dude, right, Pastor? I'm a man. And the thing is, the stuff I'm talking, I'm not just talking. I see this stuff happening. You got women dating dudes in jail. How can you be in jail and still have a hold on a woman? Come on now. I don't get that. We've lost that. Women have gotten so desperate, and they don't even see their true value. They're waiting for dudes in jail. And then you don't know if he gets out, you don't know if he got AIDS. You don't know if he switched. You don't know if he's on a DL. Come on, somebody. It's jacked up. Where's the potential? What do we look for? What do our children look to gain out of life? Women, you are the standard. Women, you spend the most time with any kid. I'm not talking about the fathers, a single parent. I'm not talking about the grandmothers. I'm saying women. Sometimes grandmothers have taken the place of their own kids, and they raise the kid. Now they got to raise the grandchild. It's crazy. Where's the value? I got a 3-date rule. First date, maybe a kiss, a peck on the cheek. The second day, it doesn't work. It's different for everybody. And if you don't respect yourself, it don't matter what rule you have, the 3rd-day rule, the 40-day rule, the 2-month rule, whatever. Your relationship should be established right. If it's not established on the principle of marriage, you shouldn't do it. You can do it, but you shouldn't do it. I think it's a waste of time. We get to have sex. And now it's going to work out. Because you could be the worst sex partner ever. And some dudes, one time, you're terrible, and they don't want anymore. Now what you done sacrifice all this for what? And you never get another chance. What'd you gain? What'd you gain? You never in your life get another chance. What's gained from that? All right, let me take a swallow. My lemon and cayenne pepper and ginger. I had coconut water earlier. Had a smoothie before that. But I trying to drink some good stuff. But we're continue to go forward. All right, but let's get our act together. Let's understand. I mean, when you talk to me or listen to me, write your checklist. Go by your checklist. Do not be that easy. That somebody could give you a bottle of water and you're ready to lay down with them. He like me. Pay attention to me. Oh, come on, somebody. Make some sense. You're worth more than that. I was a player. I was ladies' man. I was called what you want. Now I'm trying to give you substance so you don't fall into the folks that I dealt with in my past. I don't want you to be that person. I don't want you to be too trusting. So when somebody got money and jobs and nice cars and da-da-da-da-da, it's not yours. Women I was driving a Cadillac. They got excited. I get to ride his Cadillac. I tell folks, after we break up, it's still my Cadillac. And you're excited. I get to ride in the Cadillac. Get excited because you got your own Cadillac. Don't get with a dude just to see what you can get out of. He's going to help me get my own place, whatever. Until the next chick come along. You got to move out, or he stopped paying the lease on him, and you can take over the lease and move on. And then that's it. Women, you are easily to be replaced. You have to preserve your dignity, your unity, your body. You have to preserve it. If you don't respect your body, who will? If you don't hold true to what you believe, who you represent, who's going to represent you better than yourself? Until you become one with that person, like my wife and I, we're one together. She know I have her back. She has my back. She's not worried about this, that, and other, the nuances that go in relationships. That's hard to get. It took me to get to 31 years. And by God, for real, I didn't know we was going to make it this far. You know, it takes work to build a life together with someone. Like literally work. You know, it's not easy. It's not easy at all. Preserve yourself, preserve your body. Think of your body as something. Don't bring all the bad stuff you did in your past to that next relationship. And that's easier said than done. Because I'm telling you, as soon as you had another relationship, you can't help but compare this to that and this to that and this person, that person, everything, how they did this and how they did that. You'll compare everything, and then you'll mess up that relationship. Because what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong about this next guy? What if this next guy is going to treat you better than anybody, but you will never know because of the bad experience you had in your past? What if you're wrong? What if I'm right? What if you just wait? What did you lose? You didn't lose your virginity. Stay a virgin. You have high market value just by being a virgin. A virgin, no kids, no baby mama drama, no worrying about where the child support gonna come from. No, not to worry about if my new boyfriend's gonna like my child. And they try to get together because your job to protect that child. It's so many nuances to this. It's crazy. We're going to talk more on this later. Let's answer some questions, see what questions we got there. And so we go from there, all right? And so somebody asked me, what is an absolute deal breaker? What is an absolute relationship deal breaker for me? And so depends. Being married now, you know, my number one, I give you number one. I have two, but I give you number one. Number one, you got to have God in your life. I got like 5. Oh my God. Before we even get to God, oh my God. Okay, I have to be real about this, right? This is not even number one. This is just a prerequisite. No smoking, no drinking, no getting high. Those 3 things. I can't even consider you. It's not even a deal. You smoke, drink, get high. I want nothing to do with you. Because if you destroy your body, you destroy our relationship. Because if you get sick and die from it, it affects me. I don't have time for that. So that's the number one. I mean, that's the prerequisite. And so number one deal breaker for me is God. Not having God in your life. We're not going to agree on things if God's not there. And so you know, and being that you brought that up, I know of a couple that was going to get married, and the thing is, the dude, he presented to the young lady, you know, if you ever deny me like sex, I'm going to cheat. Fire that joker right now. I'm telling you, men don't change. Women have this misconception. And I know this. I lived it. Women try to change men. They have this misconception. If I sleep with him, he don't want nobody else. That's not true. It's not true at all. The thing is, you have to feed that guy's mentally, spiritually, you know, his ego, the whole 9 yards. No, you have to have trust, you know, stuff like that. But sex don't make a guy committed to you. It's more than that, all right? And so I answered the question, you know, My number one deal breaker, you got to have God in your life. And that's beyond you meet the criteria. No smoking, drinking, getting high. And so I have other points to bring out, for that, the other part for me I say I had two. The other part would be infidelity. Cheat on me. That's a deal breaker for me. All right. So hope I answered your question. How would you describe commitment? Well, if you have God and your relationship's true to God, I think if you could be committed to God, you could be committed. Like I'm committed to God, I could be committed to my wife. She's committed to God, she could be committed to me. I think commitment doesn't work unless God is in the middle. Because if you've been in a bad relationship, it's hard to trust. And me, I'll tell you, me personally, and I bring out a little of that in my book because that's why I was a little insecure, and that's why I had so many women, right? And it was hard for me to be committed to anybody. I didn't trust women, for real. I did not trust women. And why didn't I trust women? Because I had so many of them. Women made it easy for me. So when I say I didn't trust women, there's a reason. You know, I had access to, I'll tell you, I had access to more than I ever imagined, for real. And the thing is, that's the life I lived. And now I'm in church, so I don't have that same access. Nor do I want it. I don't chase it. And believe me, if I want it, it's there. And I'm not interested. I have a great thing with my wife, and so moving forward. And so we have that, all right? I kind of answered this one. Was the most important lesson you've learned from a past relationship? I'm glad y'all asked me these questions. Y'all get to know me, right? Read my book, and that's number one, all right? So I didn't trust women, all right? The lesson I've learned is why I'm talking the way I'm talking now. I tell women close their legs. When a woman's too easy for me, right? I'm not interested. I'm passing right through you. That's I hate to say it like that. But it's community. It's recreational use only or community property. I mean, when you're easy, what's hard about you? What's respectable about you? And I'm a man looking at a woman. I don't look when a woman's easy. Women are easy, and it's because some lack self-esteem, some are insecure. I mean, and some tired of being single or they're lonely, and so for those reasons, yes, they become easy. And the thing is, we should not be easy. It should not be that easy to have sex, really, because the easier it is, we devalue relationship, we devalue marriage. But when you make it hard, you make it worthwhile. Like, I got it. Like when I met my wife, in my mind was, I gotta have her. Why? Because she wasn't easy for me. I married her, and I tell people I married her, it's because she wasn't easy. All right? And so that's important for me. And so that's a pass. I mean, how easy it is for a woman to get with, it's a no-brainer. Guys would go through 1,000 girls only to find that one. And so he would have messed up 999 lives. And that's why I do this. I have a passion for this now because I messed up lives. All right? But infidelity is people would cheat on you. And that was a big lesson learned for me. All right. And so I thought I had together, and I had one female. Read my book. It's in my book, and I'm not going to go into detail about it, but they will cheat on you. All right. And so how would you describe commitment? Well, start with God. Everything for me starts with God. I'm telling you, I could not have this relationship I have with my wife if God wasn't in it. For real. If I didn't have a relationship with God, I couldn't do it. I'm telling you. I would not be faithful today if I didn't have God. The reason I'm faithful, I fear God. You gotta. A woman wants a man. That's the stupid part. Why women don't get being in church? I call a lot of things stupid. It means we shouldn't do it. You shouldn't even have to think about it. If a guy can be committed to God, he can be committed to you. We want the guy to be committed to them, to the women. Guys don't be committed to women. All right? They may be committed to the marriage. Because you make that woman your God. You don't want that woman to be, because guys that want to kill you. And you know, guys get obsessed with people. That's why you want the obsession or the commitment to be to God, not to you. That makes sense. I used to be like into women. Like, if I can't have you, nobody have you. And like, that was the most stupidest thing. But I was young. I was young and dumb. And so I don't look at that. If I can't have you, they could have you. I had to learn that over life. I had to learn they could have you, and stop being ignorant on my choices of what I made out there. And so they can have you. Do you think people cheat on their partners? Well, I don't cheat on my wife now. All right. She's the only woman I've ever been committed to, married to, 31 years. She's the only one. Only one. And I can't tell you how many people I've been with. She's the only one. Do people cheat on their partner? They do. I know, without a doubt. Lot of times, what I understand, back in the day, and the older generation, right? Today we have modern day women. Modern day women are totally easy. But back in the day, women respected themselves better back then. In I want to say the late 90s or early 90s and on back, women respected themselves, and you thought you were getting something. You thought you were doing something as to the way the women carried themselves. And so I wish to date back then if I was single. I don't want to date now. People, they don't care about their bodies. And so people cheat all the time. Gay guys cheat on gay guys, and gay women cheat on gay women. Dogs cheat on dogs, bears cheat on bears, lions cheat on lions. Everybody cheats. Pastors cheat on their wives. And so you gotta have that commitment. Where I tell you, I have to have the commitment. Have that commitment to God. And then you get to watch him and grow in God. And then you don't have to worry about that. You can't get hooked up with everybody because people are not committed to anything. You got to be committed to God. Now, I'm not pushing church on you. I'm just telling you, church works for me. The Bible works for me. All right? All right, where we at there? Oh, my God, what time is it already? How much personal space should someone need in a relationship? Well, that's a difficult question. All right? Hold on. That's the kind of question, you have to know if he's single, if he's married, or if he's a dog. All right. So that one depends on the guy's circumstances. When I was seeing a bunch of women, I had my own place, like bachelor class, whatever, right? My bachelor's class. And I wasn't committed to nobody, for real. I had rules. If you want to see me, and you follow the rules. In the story, uh, uh, um, um, when you're single, you need a lot of space because you're trying to run a whole bunch of people. When you're married, I think you don't need as much space, but you need some space. And so you have to look at it. If two people are not happy with each other, it don't matter how much space you have. No space is enough. All right. And like I said, it depends on the mindset of the person. Like, I'm married now. I need space for my wife, and I want to give her space for me. And she likes to be the other all the time, but then she does take her own space. I have an office. She has an office, so she has her space. I have my space. If I need to see her, I call her. If I need, you want to go spend time with her, I go to her office, spend time, whatever, right? And so I think space is good because you get to actualize and clear your mind, stuff like that. But space because somebody get on your nerves and stuff, that's another story. You need to look at your relationship. And you got to know the temperature of your relationship so you know how to respond to it. But too much space and you're not making progress, or you're not giving no space because you don't trust, that's not a relationship anyway. And if you feel happy when they're away, that's not a relationship. So you might want to evaluate and see what you have, to look at what's required in your personal space. All right. And is this the last one? Yeah, last question. It says, is your, in your, in a relationship, who hogs the cover? I think there's a study on that, when people are asleep in bed and stuff like that and whatever. My wife and I, we don't have an issue. But there's a study, and as far as like being secure, insecure, and that type of stuff, and then even touching this and that. I can't stand. You can't hug me. You can't hug up onto me. I'm not that person. I just need a tiny touch. The smaller the touch, I think is the better secure the relationship is. I'm secure in my relationship, so I don't need a whole lot. Some people aren't secure and they have to be hugged up and stuff. And the thing is, I don't fake my relationship. I don't want to hug you if I'm not happy with you. And I'm really impersonal, boy. I hate to say that, and I'm glad my wife understands me. And she knows how much attention I need, how much space. Because sometimes I'm trying to think a problem through and I need to be by myself. I'm trying to think something through. Or if I'm trying to think of something for the show, I need to be by myself. Or I need to digress and go watch a Western, go watch a love story, go watch a mystery movie. I got to do something to, I digress. And then I can pull everything together again. My mind operates really different, but it works. And so my wife understands that. Who takes the covers? I think it shows a lot when you don't share. My wife and I, we don't. It's like if covers on her and me, we kind of don't move cover. We don't wrap up in covers because we keep the space free, so we get to both stay warm. And I'm not taking from her, waking her up. She's not taking from me, no waking me up. And you should look at that because that has to do with something with being selfish in relationship or not being selfish. All right. And once again, great questions. And think next time we're on is Wednesday at 10:30 at night, and so 10:30 p.m. But tell your friends about us and share the word, spread the word, and let them know we're here doing great things and answering, talking questions in relationships, giving shout out to folks. And I'm consistently planning to grow this show. I think this is fantastic that I get to talk and be real about it. I mean, I'm so, passionate and caring about the direction people relationship go. I'm tired of seeing disastrous relationship. Being that I've been in one and been in several and things didn't work out. And I'm glad I'm kind of a new person now. Not the same guy I used to be. And I want people to succeed because I've proven that it works. And there's somebody out there for everybody. Once again, thanks for joining us. And again, we'll be back Wednesday at 10:30. And don't forget, tell your friends about them. Tell them to subscribe to our channel so we can go forth right. And get ready, y'all. Y'all know I got a vacation coming up, so I'll tell you all about that coming up, in the future. But I always say before we close, we got a couple things to look at, but I'll show you this clip right quick, and we could go from there, all right? And then see what happens. But this is our church flyer that we put out there, and we want you to come and see us. I'm also a pastor on top of doing podcasts. I talk about real life stuff. And you see my title up there is author, motivational speaker, life coach, and podcaster. So I'm kind of like a big package wrapped into several. I'm one person wrapped with several people wrapped up inside me. I'm also a realtor that I'm letting go of that license because I'm busy doing book science and podcasts, and I just don't have time to continue to do real estate. So my license is soon to expire in July, and that's pretty much it. I'm not gonna plan to use it. People say you should keep it. You should keep it. Well, I'm secure in the direction I'm going, And so I'm not worried about that. And so I think the bookkeeping piece as well, uh, uh, um, not the podcasting piece. I'm sorry, not bookkeeping, podcasting. I do financial management as well, but the life coach, the podcast, that's kind of like on the rise. So I don't have time to do the other things. So I'm letting those go. But we're continue on podcasts. I love doing it. So I answer the questions. People have questions here, and we can take that and roll. But eventually, even that this platform may change. But until then, let's have the best time we possibly can, and take a picture of this, and hopefully you show up at our church at Higher Hope Apostolic Church, 65 or Louis Street, Oviedo, Florida. So we have that, and so we're going to release this now. And so as we get ready to close, I always say, faith connected to the power words bring forth the reality of God. All right, I think it's awesome that we put God first in everything that we do as we go forth, and live this life that we live. It could be worse, and you look at life and you say, you know what? Yes, it could be worse, but we don't have to let it get worse. We can always constantly be better and make better choices and do it better than what we're doing. You know, uh, um, Failure. When you look at life, it's not really an option. It's only an option if you want it to be. Life doesn't have to be a failure. So let's continue to say, you know what? How can we do this better? Don't forget. I want you to always pick up, a copy of my book. Put the word out there. Let people know. We have I have an awesome book out there. It's really touching, changing the lives of people, and I'm trying to put this in the format because I want everybody to see it. But yeah, get a copy. And pick up. It's available online. Amazon sold out 4 times already, and so but get a copy of it and see it. I'm putting it out so you can see it. The book's right there. Take a picture of it. It's available everywhere on different platforms. Books being Barnes and Noble, Amazon. Unworthy, chosen, forgiven. So I sell books. I just decided to start taking pictures from my book signings to let you see. I'm out there doing book signings, book tours, and so forth, so on. And people are taking a joy in reading the book. It excites me. Take a picture of it and hopefully get a copy. And maybe you can ask me a couple questions or two out of it as well, for your future. So, and if I can explain, I will. If we get a place that I haven't talked about, then I'll let you know I can't talk about it because people are still buying the book and I don't want to give certain key points away. All right. And so it's out there. Get your copy. All right. I'm worthy, chosen, and forgiven. All right. I'm worthy, chosen, forgiven. And so we have that. So, but we're about to get out of here, and I appreciate you. Continue on. All right. Don't stop. Don't look back. Always press forward. All right. Appreciate you. Until next time.